because when you hear about authors, you think, they're so gifted, they just sit and write. And we know that as authors, that is not 100%. There are times and seasons that you can write and flow. But the motivation for me, number one, I wanted to put my legacy down. I was part of a group called I Lead, I Change, I Influence, which was a group of mostly women ministers and also marketplace ministers that were brought together during the pandemic. And it was a time of empowerment for us. It was a season where, when everybody was shutting doors, 9 o'clock on Monday, and our mentor was Pastor Marjorie Esamoe. And we sat and we were taught different principles, decision making, how do we put ourselves out on the platforms. But one of the things that Pastor Marge taught us was make sure that you put down your legacy. So that was a strong influencer for me. And it was like, wow, after I've gone, what is there that will remain? Where is my voice? Yes, I wanted to find my voice and put it down on paper. So that was always in the back of my mind, because the strong voices that I've heard, my mother's voice, my grandmother, and all of those voices had wisdom for me. So I wanted to ensure that I also was putting down the wisdom that I had learned, so that my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, and other people's children and great-grandchildren would also benefit. So that was number one. Then number two, as I said, I was writing alongside my husband. So this was a great, was able to buddy up on our writing, and we were keeping each other going. So we would say, how many words have you got now? What word count are you up to? And that, helped us both together to get that book down. He's got his message, and I'm sure one day.
Thank you for checking out this video. Are you getting enough value from it? You see, this video was created for the purpose of adding value to you. So if this video make any sense to you, let me know in the comment section below. I'm interested in understanding what you take away from this video and if it makes sense to you, so we can provide more. Now let's return to the video.
So I love that statement that you make. Let's get our women, let's give them knowledge and information. They're not going to run off and go to the office and be there 24/7. No, because many of us know and love our homes. So we're going to bring back that knowledge. And that's one thing I saw my mum doing. She was in a psychiatric ward at work, and she would come home. She would talk about some of the stories, some of the hilarious ones that I remember. Some of the wards, some of them may have dementia. And I remember her saying, I had a mechanic and he was under his bed. He thought he was fixed. He still thought he was at work fixing. And out of all these funny examples, I learned, myself and my brother learned so much about the importance of our mental state. So she brought home, as a nurse, she brought home great wisdom to us about how to run our homes and the importance of stability of mind, of knowing how to, run our emotions so that we're not on the ups and the downs, and so that we can be stable and we can contribute to our homes and families and beyond that as well. Because we come from countries where it is about the village and the community feel. I remember her saying, and my dad as well, when they came here, it's kind of like, wow, back home, you're used to your family inputting, but also the members of the community can speak to you, but when they came over here, and number one, it was cold, so everybody was in their homes. But number two, that community vibe wasn't as it was back home in the Caribbean. And I know also over in Africa and other nations that, we've come from. So this is so important, this side of it, which is that we have to release this wisdom and knowledge to our legacy and let our young men and women know what it is to have a stable home, because out of that, we can thrive in society and we can do well.
You're so right. You're so right. I love that. I love that. It is not an overstatement at all. Every person that comes from a home should know that. You see, it is said often that you don't need to describe headache. You just need to tell somebody about headache. If the person doesn't understand headache, maybe that person doesn't have a head. Because any person that have a head should understand what is headache.
That's a good one. That's right.
All right. Now, tell me about something, your motivation. So as you are putting this book together, what is motivating you? Because, okay, I've read a couple of books. I understand what it means, that sometimes the flow is not there, but you want to do it. So you need to encourage yourself sometimes. Of course, this is part of what we were saying before. Enjoy the journey. So tell me about all the motivation that keep you going in making sure that this book come to life. Because it's not as simple as it might sound, but you made it. Tell me about that.
Brilliant. I love that question because when you hear about authors, you think, they're so gifted, they just sit and write. And we know that as authors, that is not 100%. There are times and seasons that you can write and flow. But the motivation for me, number one, I wanted to put my legacy down. I was part of a group called I Lead, I Change, I Influence, which was a group of mostly women ministers and also marketplace ministers that were brought together during the pandemic. And it was a time of empowerment for us. It was a season where, when everybody was shutting doors, 9 o'clock on Monday, and our mentor was Pastor Marjorie Esamoe. And we sat and we were taught different principles, decision making, how do we put ourselves out on the platforms. But one of the things that Pastor Marge taught us was make sure that you put down your legacy. So that was a strong influencer for me. And it was like, wow, after I've gone, what is there that will remain? Where is my voice? Yes, I wanted to find my voice and put it down on paper. So that was always in the back of my mind, because the strong voices that I've heard, my mother's voice, my grandmother, and all of those voices had wisdom for me. So I wanted to ensure that I also was putting down the wisdom that I had learned, so that my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, and other people's children and great-grandchildren would also benefit. So that was number one. Then number two, as I said, I was writing alongside my husband. So this was a great, was able to buddy up on our writing, and we were keeping each other going. So we would say, how many words have you got now? What word count are you up to? And that, helped us both together to get that book down. He's got his message, and I'm sure one day, he'll come in and speak about his message. But for me, it was the fact that we've made a goal and we want to meet this goal. We want to, because so often we can get, we're so excited about, fulfilling a goal, but then halfway something happens, and you give up and you think this is too hard now. You hit what they call writer's block, and you just think, but I said, no, let's fulfill. So I was motivated to get to the end, and there was many times where I was like, it's a lot of effort here. Should I really finish off? But I said, no, you made that commitment. So fulfill that commitment. And then thirdly, that leads on to my children, because they were looking over my shoulder, my husband's shoulder. How's the book going? Is the book finished yet? We're so proud of you, Mom and Dad. So I wanted to show them and demonstrate that when you start something, make sure that you finish it as well. So quite a few things were motivating me to keep going and to finish the book.
I love that energy that was in the family. That is really lovely. Particularly, I was saying something before that when you went to this journey and you decided as you were returning back to your destiny, to your home, that both of you are going to write a book, that is an advantage to the family now. It's like, instead of writing a book, you're going to write 2 books in the family. With me,
brilliant.
that is a lot. And with me now, you are going to be feeding on each other's energy. When you are not there, when you are not strong enough, your husband can support you. When he is not strong enough, you can, because you are telling each other, this is how far I've gone. So you are sort of leveraging each other's strength, and the children also commit to support that. That is lovely. That is lovely. And I also like the fact that you made mention of the legacy, because I think people don't understand the meaning of that enough. Because if they do, a lot of people should be writing. Where you might say, well, there are already a lot of books there. No, there are too few books there. The books that we have are too few. Yeah. I was saying the other day, that in my village, nobody have written a book about my village yet. So you can't say there are too many books. So I need a book about my village. You know, so you can't say there are too many books where I look around. The only book that I see, sometimes I don't see people that in my culture, in my name that are very close to me. I can see them as the author of the book. So there are not too many books yet. We still have a lot of books to write. Even if there are a lot of books around, but we can still rewrite some of them again so that they can be fresh. You know, things are changing all the time. So in essence, I'm saying that we should give ourselves this privilege. Hi, and thank you for checking out this short clip from Obehi Podcast. I'm Obehi Ewanfo, the host of the Obehi Podcast. This short clip was created from a full episode where we dive deep into this conversation. To see the entire video, all you need to do is to click on the link in the description of this video. Now, while you are there, I want to share something with you quickly. Are you a purpose-driven entrepreneur? I mean, do you want to cut across the noise and attract the right audience, leveraging the power of storytelling? Now, pay attention. I'm currently working on a signature program to help you own your story and stand out for the competition. It's a 5-step journey to help reshape your professional and business narrative so you can drive success and stand out in the competition. And in less than 90 days. The link is what you see on your screen, academy.aclasses.org/story. Now, this is what we have understood. Storytelling is the most powerful instrument that is known to man. And this is what this could mean to you. You could either choose to own your story and leverage it to amplify your message and whatever you represent in this world, or some other person could own that story. The choice is yours. So why don't take advantage of your story and use it wherever you are, whether you are in business environment or you are a professional individual who want to be able to build your influence and leave a legacy behind because you represent something. You are owning your story. You are somebody whose story is important. So the choice again is yours. Now let's get started with this short clip.